A very good day to you and welcome to my prayer room. We are sitting in my quiet time room. This is the place which is normally out of bounds to anybody but you. So welcome. I want to say to you, how's it going with you at the moment? Are you under pressure? I can understand that because we are living in the real world. And the man that says to you, no, brother, everything's going well for me, I think he's a liar. And I think the truth is not in him. You just have to turn on the news and watch what's happening in the world, and you know that things are not going well. But Jesus has promised us that these things will happen. He says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord will deliver him from them all. Psalm 34, verse 19. I want to encourage you today that when you start to spend time in solitary prayer, God will lift that heavy burden and that fear and that inadequacy that you are feeling. But you need to come aside. If we look in the Word of God at 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 17, the Word of God says, pray without ceasing. What does that mean? It means never stop praying. You see, you don't just have to pray audibly. You can pray in your spirit, in your heart. You can be sitting in a bus going to school. You can be in a train going to work. You can be flying in a busy aeroplane, and you can pray without ceasing. You can just close your eyes, go into your prayer room in your heart and pray. And I do that often, especially when I'm going overseas. I go into a prayer room. I've got a prayer room which I'll describe to you. And by the way, this has got nothing to do with positive thought. I'm not into that. This is to do with meditation. And meditation doesn't come from some Middle Eastern religion. Meditation comes from Jesus Christ. He spent time in meditation continually, as did all the patriarchs of the Bible. And so I close my eyes from the busyness of the world, and I see myself somewhere in Central Africa. In fact, there's a little bit of a monument there where David Livingstone, Dr. David Livingstone, died. You know, the African people loved him so much, they opened him up when he died, they took his heart out, and they buried his heart underneath a tree. That's right. I've been to that very place. And then you walk from there down a little path, down towards a wetland, a vlei, and there's tall reeds blowing in the wind. And you sit on a log on the side of that path, okay, and you hear the African birds singing, and then I start to speak with the Lord, and he speaks with me. The Russians call it a postinia. It's a little place at the end of their garden where they go and they spend time with God. You've got to have a quiet place. Doesn't matter where it is. You say, well, I've got 5 or 6 children, I don't get any peace. No, listen to me now. You've got to pray without ceasing. John Wesley came from a family, I stand to be corrected, I think it was 18 children. And he was about number 16. His old mother, Susanna Wesley, who he said influenced his life more than any of the great theologians. I'm talking about Count Zinzendorf, I'm talking about John Calvin. He said, my mother influenced me more. She would sit in front of the fireplace in the morning. She was a pastor's wife. He never mentioned his father, who was a pastor, his mother. She said she would take an apron, she would throw it over her head, and when she did that, all the 18 children knew that mommy is talking to Jesus. Therefore, don't interrupt her. And she would have her quiet time. You need to pray without ceasing. If you are struggling at the moment with depression, anxiety, fear, you don't know where your money's coming from next, pray. Jesus said to his disciples, pray, 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 pray. He said, be alert. He said, because when you pray, God gives you peace. Goodbye.
For more information, please visit angusbuchan.com.